Hi everyone, this is my second time recording this video because my stupid camera fell. I have my makeup on. Today we're going to be talking about a very personal subject that I haven't really made a video where I just sit down and talk to you guys in a while. I'm not going to use my intro and my outro because this is a serious video we need to talk about. Today we're going to be talking about from depression, what depression is, and ways you can cope, plus some backstory about my depression. So, I'm gonna start with my depression, and we're gonna try to move on later on in the video. So, my depression, I've had depression since I was a little kid. I grew up not in a poor house and not in a rich house, more like in between. So emotionally it was draining, not physically, of course, but I'm gonna keep going. As a kid I couldn't control my anger, and I did some things that I regret now as an adult, and it still makes me depressed just thinking about it. I know everyone makes mistakes, but still, it still haunts me. And I've tried to off myself many times when I was younger. I don't do it anymore, but yeah. Growing up, I was bullied a lot. I was bullied everywhere. I was bullied when I was around my house or when I went outside. Shit, people bullied me all the time. And even before I was gone. It got so bad that I didn't go outside. I stayed inside, ate food, and watched TV and played video games. That's it. Never went outside because of the bullying and how bad it got. I also got bullied at school, okay? And I was inside so much that the neighborhood kids thought I either moved away or died. That's how much I stayed inside to avoid them. And I tried many times to kill myself, but it never really worked. I guess because I wasn't supposed to. But I got help, alright, and even those places that I went to get help only helped a little bit. Now, when my Grammy passed away, it didn't really help for my depression because we were really close, and so that didn't really help either. She was really nice, and I really do miss her, and I always thought she would be there. But life has a funny way of reminding you that anything can happen at any time. Even in this moment, right now, you could be in danger and you wouldn't even know it. But that's a whole nother video we'll do. But moving on from the next video, I just want to tell the difference between sadness and depression. Okay, now there are some people out there who've been telling me that they're the same thing when in fact they're not. Okay, and I'm going to explain the difference between sadness and depression, just in case anyone out there is confused about the two, or thinks they're the same when they're not. Okay, sadness is, for example, I'm so sad I missed the party, but I had to study for my test. That's sad, alright? Depression is more like a dark cloud looming around you. It's like your soul is empty and just not working. It's like you're emotionally numb, and it's basically sadness times a trillion, and it's hard on you. Once you're depressed, it's not like being sad, okay? It's feeling like you don't belong. It's feeling like you want to not live anymore, and it's really rough. Once you actually have depression, you think that right now, if you've never had depression, you think, oh man, I would easily snap out of that. But once you have depression, your life, your opinion on that subject will completely change, and you will see how hard it is to snap out of it once you have depression. And the two couldn't be more different. They're not the same. One's an emotion, and one is the absence of emotion and clouding your judgment and feeling like you don't belong. That is depression. Alright? That's depression. They're not the same, and one's worse than the other. Simple as that. Alright? Now, I'm going to move on to a couple coping mechanisms. Now, keep in mind that these aren't indefinite work for everyone. Some people might find something else that works for them, and that's fine. These are just suggestions. They're not a definite yes, okay? First thing I want to recommend is getting a dog or a cat, a service animal, which I have one right here. His name is Zombie, because zombies are my favorite monsters, and he was abused before we got him. So his legs are really skinny like a zombie, so we named him Zombie. He's my awesome dog. Had him since 2010. He is 90-something years old in dog years, and he's a purebred Chihuahua. And when I hold him, I feel better. He's an emotional support animal, which if you don't have the money for it, I could understand. But if you have the money and the time to take care of an animal, I highly suggest you get a service animal. It doesn't have to be a dog. It can be a goldfish if you feel like it. But that's not the point. The point is, if you get a emotional support animal, I would highly recommend that. Now, if you're going off to get a tiger, lion, something like that, then that's something I don't recommend, even though I don't know how the fuck you get that, but still. Another thing I recommend is getting a hobby. Sometimes painting, drawing, sculpting, making t-shirts. Sometimes some people find help in that. They find comfort, and they find a new portal in or out of the darkness and into the light, coming from a goth guy. But yeah, so yeah, I also recommend you do not drink alcohol, because that will just fuel the depression. So don't drink when you're depressed. It doesn't lead anywhere good. If you live in a country or state where weed's legal, then yeah, that'll work, because weed, when you smoke it and you're depressed, it actually does make you happy. Kind of like an anti-depression medication, which is another thing I recommend you try if you can afford it, and if you're not allergic to it, then I highly recommend some anti-depression medication. You will have to go to a professional for it, and that is another thing that you should do. Get help. Go to a therapist, a psychiatrist, talk to them what's wrong, and hopefully you'll feel better. If those don't help, then how about just taking walks? Taking walks and listening to music also could help. Don't listen to no depression music. Listen to something awesome. Like for me, it's listening to heavy metal or something, because it makes me it fuels me. It makes me feel like I can do stuff, you know, and it does help to listen to some awesome music. But it doesn't have to be heavy metal. It can be whatever you're into. You know, just don't listen to no sad music, because that just fuels the depression, like we said before. But the main thing I want to know is to tell you guys that do not self-harm. I cannot stress that enough. Don't do it. It's not worth it in the end. It's absolutely just the worst thing you can do. So don't think that that's your only way out, because you have tons of ways out. You have every single other way to get out of this depression, and I highly recommend you do anything but self-harm or self-deletion. It's not worth it. Another thing I don't recommend is you to overeat or undereat. You need to eat normally too, because when you overeat, you can actually gain a lot of weight, and it's not good for you. And if you undereat, then undereating can fuck up your brain and possibly make your depression worse. It is scientifically proven to do that, because you take someone's food away and God knows what happens. But yeah, so it's complicated. But eat normally. Drink water too. Water also helps with depression, because when you're dehydrated, yes, it can make it worse. And just so y'all know, I didn't just research any of this stuff. I've lived through depression. I've lived through my life of depression. only recently, I had a friend named Tara who, a while ago, she helped me with my depression. And I thank her every day for it, because now, thanks to her, I'm not dead. And I have a girlfriend now, and I'm seeing her soon, so thanks to Tara, I actually still have a life. So, thank you, Tara, if you're watching this, thanks. But don't think that you're already too far, because you're not. I thought that, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other people think they're too far gone, but you're not. You're still here, which means you still can get help. So I highly recommend it. I'm going to end this video off here. I just want to say that if you're feeling down, try to take some of the coping mechanisms that I've just mentioned in this video and apply it to you. Do not do anything that's harsh on yourself. You are here for a reason. You're here to live a life, and that's that. And I'm not trying to preach, and I'm not trying to convert you to anything, because I'm a Welsh Celtic pagan witch, and I don't believe in converting someone. So I'm just letting y'all know. Y'all are here to live a life, and self-deletion is not worth it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, follow me and everything. All links in the description, including my last video. Also, I'm actually gonna sell this camera and get a new one soon, so just letting y'all know. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Stay safe. Goodbye.